Hi, this is Masenya of Masenya Attorneys Incorporated, a law firm based in Centurion, Republic of South Africa. We boast 24 years of legal practice in the areas of commercial and tax laws. My professional team and I have over the years proved great success in assisting numerous clients with a myriad of commercial and tax matters involving millions of rands. We are skilled, experienced, qualified, and have the capacity to assist you. Email us at clients@cntlaw.co.za or call us 011-318-6592 or 084-383-7747. All consultations are strictly by appointment.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Good to have you. I'm Solomon Izangi Shams. They call me Uncle Solomon. So awesome to have you here. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Solomon's Temple. Click subscription and you'll be on. And also, if you're looking for other contents, please check out other contents that we produce and made over time. They're all there. But I really want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Let me know how you're doing, and please use the comment section to also let me know where you're watching from. So yesterday I made a video. If you haven't watched it, please go back and watch it, about the release of Nigerian charlatan. Not the release, the acquittal. Let me use a legal term, acquittal of Nigerian charlatan, Pastor Timothy Omotoso, who 8 years ago was arrested for trafficking girls, raping girls, had a home, a house, a mansion where the girls were living in there. But then the case crashed because the prosecution, actually, the NPA, they call them in South Africa, the state didn't do justice to the case, especially during the cross-examination. So the judge had no option but to acquit him and two of his co-accused. But the Minister of Justice in South Africa actually came out today and made some strong statement. People are not happy. People are angry with a whole lot of stuff. It wasn't like there's no case. The judge specifically mentioned the fact that the state didn't show any effort at all, especially during cross-examination. So, will he be released? I doubt. Because as soon as he's released, he needs to be deported because he's illegally in South Africa, right? I was in prison myself. And when I was in prison, I saw there was a point where they took non-South Africans from prison. They took us there and they took us to court, right? For a hearing. Whilst we were in prison, when the false prophet Alf Lukau took me to prison, and you have to go before a judge to decide if we're going to be deported or not. So that's the way it works. If you're non-South African or if you're not a legal resident of a country, they look at your documentations, and if you're illegally in the country or your visa or your permit has expired, once you finish your term, you're released, they take you straight to deportation center. But my papers were in order. But every one of the, I think 9 other people, non-South Africans that we went to court for that hearing, they were all deported. So that's what is going to be happening to Omotoso if he's being deported. But they could appeal. Remember, this is just a high court level. There might be 1 or 2 reasons why the state would feel that they want to appeal. And I'm sure once they appeal, they're going to bring a very strong and credible advocate to argue the case. But not surprising, Timothy Omotoso has found a friend in Shepherd Bushiri, the false prophet. Shepherd Bushiri ran away from South Africa. Obviously, he knew he was going to face the same situation like Tim Omotoso. Like what Timothy Omotoso is going through. If Bushiri had stayed in South Africa, This is like 3-4 years later now. He would still be in jail. Him and with his wife. Because there's a very serious case against him. But he ran away. So when Timothy Omotoso was acquitted yesterday, he made a very long statement, a very long post on Facebook. Go check it out. But I'll just read a part of it for you, if I can find it. I'll just read a part of it for you, what he said. This is part of what he said. Self-proclaimed Prophet Shepherd Bushiri has weighed in on the recent judgment in favor of televangelist Timothy Omotoso, drawing a parallel with his own legal battles in South Africa. Omotoso and his co-accused were found not guilty of rape and human trafficking. In a Facebook post, Bushiri said Omotoso had to endure years of imprisonment and watch his life fall apart before being declared not guilty. For 8 years, Omotoso was caged like an animal, he said. He woke up in a cold cell, staring at the walls and all of that kind of stuff. And he went on about the justice system and the police in South Africa, how they treat non-South Africans. They don't like they don't like people who are not South Africans. You're not gonna get justice. You're just gonna be arrested, and they're gonna waste your time and a whole lot of things he was saying. I am not surprised, because they are birds of the same feathers. For me, they're both guilty of all the allegations that was brought against them. People are now saying Omotoso is going to sue the state and make millions. Guys, it's not easy like that. It's a long way to go with this case. People think that it's going to be released today or he has already been deported. It doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way. The case has a window to appeal. They're not just going to release him immediately the next day. It doesn't work like that. They could take this case back on appeal to the High Court, or they could take this case back to the Supreme Court, or they could take it to the Constitutional Court. But one thing for sure, Omotoso is going to be deported. So now Bushiri is using this case and this issue with Timothy Omotoso to sort of like tell people, you see, I told you, I'm not guilty. They just want to arrest me, frustrate me, and detain me for nothing. That's what they do to foreigners. That's what they do to people who are not South Africans. That's what he said in his statement. Now the Malawian people, the Malawian government was like, you see, I told you, this guy isn't guilty. I'm not guilty too. You cannot just arrest me. I ran away because they're just going to arrest me, put me in prison and waste my time, just like they did to Omotoso. After 8 years, now he's not guilty. So he's trying to create that sort of narrative. He thinks he's smart. This guy's he's a criminal. So these guys, they know how to say, what to say and what to say, how to say these things. And by the way, a lot of their followers are gullible. They don't think for themselves. So they just follow the so-called man of God. Now he is going to use this over and over again. And a lot of charlatans are going to use this case. Matter of fact, some of them will be preaching on that on Sunday, just to cover their own criminality, just to get the focus of them, just to threaten people. You see, if you take me to court, if you take me to the police, even if they arrest me, they're going to find me not guilty. These are birds of the same feathers, and they all flock together. A lot of charlatans are going to use this case as a defense, as a threat and intimidation against women who they have taken advantage of. And that's what Bushiri is trying to create now. I mean, Just a few hours later, he wrote a whole essay, a whole article. Go to his Facebook page and check around this. These guys are trying to maximize this situation, but like I said, this is not the end. You would see how this situation in the next few weeks, we would have an idea where and what direction the state is going to take regarding this case. Are they just going to let it go and just said, okay, he spent 8 years already, let's just deport him? And is he going to sue them? There is a whole lot to think about. The state is not just going to let go like that. They'll look for any loophole for them to appeal, and they will keep him there for longer. But watch out for people like Bushiri. Now they're trying to create that image that they're not guilty. He didn't do anything in South Africa. All the accusations of money laundering and fraud and rape, it's all lies and cooked up by the South African police and forces because he's from Malawi, he's not South African, and all of that kind of stuff. They just want to arrest him and make money from him and detain him and destroy everything that he has built over the years, and all of that. He's gonna use this story. He's gonna pound this story and pound it and pound it and pound it. But his own day is coming. Have a great evening, guys.